उसी ज़माने में जब ये तहरीक जारी थी, दिल्ली के एक अखबार ने लिखा कि अहमदियों को शायद ये याद नहीं है कि अफगानिस्तान में उनके साथ क्या हुआ था। अगर पाकिस्तान बन गया, इस्लामी स्टेट कायम हो गई, तो अहमदियों के साथ पाकिस्तान में वही सलूक होगा जो अफगानिस्तान में उनके साथ हो चुका है। उनका इशारा हजरत साहब अब्दुल लतीफ शहीद, हजरत मौलवी अब्दुल लतीफ शहीद और बाकी और शोहदा की तरफ था कि अफगानिस्तान में इनकी जिस तरह से मुखालफत हुई है, पाकिस्तान में भी उनकी उसी तरह से मुखालफत होगी। हजरत मुस्लिम रज़ियल्लाहु तआला अन्हु का ये नहायत पुरशौकत आपने उसका जवाब दिया। वो खुतबा मुझे आज भी याद है मस्जिद अक्सा में कि कहाँ बैठ के मैंने सुना था, और मेरे जहन पे अब तक उस वक्त से लेकर अब तक ये असर है। मैं पूरी तरह उस खुतबे को नहीं समझ सकता था अपनी उम्र की वजह से, ना मैं समझा, लेकिन ये जरूर था कि हुजूर का ये बड़ा ही पुरशौकत खुतबा है, गैर मामूली खुतबा है। तो उसमें हुजूर ने फरमाया कि ठीक है आपने हमें बताया, लेकिन मैं तो उम्मत मुस्लिमा के मफाद के लिए काम कर रहा हूँ, मैं हज़रत सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की उम्मत के फायदे के लिए काम कर रहा हूँ, मैं अपने फायदे के लिए काम नहीं कर रहा, मैं जमात के फायदे के लिए काम नहीं कर रहा। जिसमें मुसलमानों का इज्तिमाई तौर पर फायदा है मैं उसके लिए काम कर रहा हूँ, और मुसलमानों का इज्तिमाई फायदा पाकिस्तान के क़याम में है।
From the time of the creation of Pakistan, Ahrar missed no chance of creating disaffection against Ahmadis. Their outward object was to denounce Ahmadis, but their inward object was to create disorder and lawlessness in Pakistan. In this aim, they succeeded by arousing the feelings of Muslims in Pakistan over fanciful insult to the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, by placing false allegations on Ahmadis.
So they waited for some time, and eventually the time came in 1953. Daulatana, Mian Mumtaz Muhammad Khan Daulatana was the chief minister of Punjab in those days, and he wanted to become the prime minister of Pakistan, because Khwaja Nazimuddin was then the prime minister of Pakistan. To take his place, he wanted some loophole which he can use, and so the easiest thing was the Ahmadiyya question. So Ahrar started a movement against the government and against Ahmadis, and the Punjab government assisted them financially as well as through media. They were given full cover.
Ahrar held a defense conference in January 1949 in Lahore, in which they announced their decision to cease functioning as a political party and to continue as a religious group. They began holding their conferences under the label of Tabligh conferences. The demand for the declaration of Ahmadis as a non-Muslim minority was first made at a conference in Rawalpindi and then in a public meeting held at Bin Dadan Khan on the 1st of May 1949.
I was then a student at the TI College Lahore when this whole thing erupted, and TI College was the main target of these people. They will come in a big processions and throw stones at us, and wanted to put the TI College into ruins. So this spread all over Punjab, all over the Punjab, everywhere, because of the Ahrar propaganda and the government help. Ahmadis were killed, their houses were burned, and it was a very, very, very great trial for the Ahmadis.
Majlis Ahrar continued plotting against the community and tried its level best to get the Ahmadis declared as a non-Muslim minority. A meeting was held on the 2nd of June 1952. It was in this conference the following demands were formulated: that the Ahmadis be declared a non-Muslim minority, that Chaudhry Zafrullah Khan is removed from the office of Foreign Minister, and that Ahmadis be removed from all key posts. In January 1953, Majlis-e-Amal held a convention in Karachi. The vicious leaders of the Ahrar gave an ultimatum to the Prime Minister of the time, Khwaja Nazimuddin. This ultimatum said that if, within a month, Ahmadis were not declared a non-Muslim minority, and the Foreign Minister, who is an Ahmadi, and other Ahmadis occupying key posts in the state, were not removed from their offices, then Majlis-e-Amal will take action.
पाकिस्तान में अहमदियों की मुखालफत का करीबन तसलसल से मुखालफत जारी रही, लेकिन बाज़ दौर ऐसे आए जिसमें बहुत ज़्यादा मुखालफत की गई और यूं लगता था कि इस तरह की साजिश की गई है कि बज़ाहिर अहमदी नहीं बचेंगे। बज़ाहिर मैं कह रहा हूँ कि बज़ाहिर अहमदी नहीं बच सकते, बल्कि मैं समझता हूँ अगर यहाँ वो वाक़या बयान किया जाए तो जो हालात की संगीनी उसका अंदाज़ा हो जाएगा। मौलाना अबुल अतार साहब, हज़रत मौलाना शम्स साहब और बाज़ और बुज़ुर्ग, ख्वाजा नाज़मुद्दीन जो उस वक़्त पाकिस्तान के वज़ीर आज़म थे, उनसे मिलने के लिए कराची जा रहे थे, तो लाहौर में उनका ऐसा इत्तफ़ाक़ हुआ कि उनकी मुलाकात जमात इस्लामी के सरबराह मौलाना मौदूदी से हुई। तो मौलाना मौदूदी ने कहा कि आप अगर मुझे अच्छा हुआ कि आपसे मुलाकात हो गई है, आप मेरा पैगाम मिर्ज़ा साहब को यानी हज़रत मुस्लिम मौऊद रज़ियल्लाहु अन्हु को पहुँचा दें। कि क्या पैगाम है? कि पैगाम यह है कि इस वक्त आपकी मुखालफत इस हद तक हो चुकी है कि या तो आप अपने अकायद पे नज़रसानी करें और या ये समझ लें कि जमात ख़त्म हो जाएगी। ये पैगाम है मेरा कि अपने अकायद पे नज़रसानी करें, उनमें तरमीम कर लें, वरना आप नहीं बच सकते। यह जमात इस्लामी के सरबराह का पैगाम था, हज़रत इमाम जमात अहमदिया के नाम। हज़रत मौलाना अबुल अतार साहब हमारे उस्ताद, हमने ये वाक़या उनसे कई दफ़ा सुना। वो फरमाया करते थे कि मैं चूँकि कहीं बैठा था इत्तेफाक से, तो मैंने कहा कि मौदूदी साहब ये आप क्या कह रहे हैं कि इमाम साहब को, हज़रत इमाम जमात अहमदिया को ये पैगाम पहुँचाया जाए। इसका जवाब तो मैं आपको यहाँ दे सकता हूँ। कहते नहीं नहीं मौलवी साहब, आप समझ नहीं रहे मेरी बात को। इस वक्त मुखालफत इतनी शदीद है, आपको उसका पता नहीं है। इतनी शदीद मुखालफत है कि जमात के बचने का सवाल ही पैदा नहीं होता। जमात खत्म हो जाएगी सिवाय इसके कि वो अपने अकायद में तरमीम कर ले। मौलवी से फरमाते हैं कितनी भी मुखालफत हो, मेरा जवाब यही है, हमारे इमाम का जवाब भी यही होगा कि अगर ये जमात खुदा की तरफ से है तो कोई मुखालफत इसको खत्म नहीं कर सकती, और अगर ये खुदा की तरफ से नहीं है तो कल की खत्म होती आज खत्म हो जाए, और यकीनी तौर पर ये जमात जो खत्म नहीं होगी।
Hazrat Muslim Mauud radiallahu ta'ala anhu was at the helm of affairs at that time. He instructed that no Ahmadi should leave his house, no Ahmadi should leave his village. You remain there and God would help you. I see God running towards me. And he said that look at your history. Has ever God forsaken you before that he will forsake you now? It was a very, very strongly worded message that he gave. On this, the Punjab government decided to curb Huzur's movement and to stop him from public speeches.
A conference was held in the early hours of the 27th of February 1953 of the central ministers and representatives of the West Pakistan provinces. In that conference, it was decided to reject the ultimatum and to arrest the prominent members of Majlis-e-Amal in Karachi. The disturbances commenced immediately after as a direct result of these arrests.
Well, in fact, the causes of the martial law in 1953 was a politically motivated so-called religious movement that was backed up by two main religious movements of that time. One was notoriously named as Majlis-e-Ahrar, and the second one was Jamaat Islami. Now, right after the partition of Pakistan, when the state of Pakistan was busy into forming the constitution of the newly born state and the different departments of the government were being put in place, these so-called religious movements, they started to divert the government's attention for their own political motives.
So eventually martial law was a mini martial law, that was martial law confined to Lahore and some suburban areas, was imposed, and most of the Maulvis were arrested and some were put behind the bars. Maulana Maududi was given death sentence, which was remitted later on into hard life imprisonment.
And particularly they were sending delegates to meet the then Prime Minister ख्वाजा Nazimuddin of that time. When they saw that the government was not readily accepting their demands, they gave a threat to the government that unless the government meet their demands as they were asking for it, then they would take direct action against the government. and the most important threat was that they would lead a movement of civil disobedience. Now, civil disobedience means that where the civilians of the state, they would not obey law and order, rather they would take law and order in their own hands, and they would challenge the writ of the government. That in fact they did in 1953. They led protests and rallies starting from Karachi, Lahore, different parts of Punjab. They started looting different Ahmadis, their businesses, their shops, started killing Ahmadis and severely injuring them.